Happy Monday! Welcome to the Prop Queen Pod. I'm the Prop Queen Ariel Epstein. Sorry if you guys usually tune in a little bit after 5:30, but oh my god, I almost said lice now. Ew! Live now. Tune in for the Prop Queen edges of the day in Major League Baseball. No guests today. It's just me, but I hope you guys don't mind. And I do have clothes on. I didn't have time to throw a jacket on. It's so hot out here in New York. I have to catch a train. So this is a shortened podcast today, just going to be about a half hour of just me talking about this weekend, talking about Major League Baseball prop edges for tonight's slate of games, shorter slate of games. As you might have seen on my X page, I need to get home to my parents' house because my brother graduates at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning from high school. So I have to catch a train home. It's the first time Marley is going on a train. So maybe if anyone's interested, I could document what the hell my dog does on a train for the first time. We'll see. Also putting her in an Uber for the first time. So that should also be interesting. But yeah, she was in doggy daycare today. So hopefully for the next half hour, Marley is going to shut the F up. I hope she's sleeping. Hi, guys. Jessica said it feels like 105 in New Jersey today. It was hot. I was panting. I had a doctor's appointment this morning for the cardiologist. Don't ask. I'm a hypochondriac. Marley needs an Insta, maybe. I already run 2 accounts. I can't do it again. I'll just get famous through her, and we could just share an account. It's fine. I don't know why my eyelashes look freaking weird today. Okay, don't pay me any mind. I'm in a rush. My eyes just look not even. None of you care. Maybe Jessica, but the rest of you guys probably don't even notice anything. Pistons to win the East, Mark? I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I don't know. Listen, I understand that it's freaking crazy that OKC ends up winning this whole thing, even though they were the best team in basketball all year. I don't think people I didn't think that the inexperience was going to get them an NBA Finals. They were the youngest team. The Indiana Pacers also were 55-1 preseason last year to win the NBA Finals. Not that they won it, but seriously, you've got a team that Indiana, 55-1. There's definitely some long shots out there, but these are still the teams. So OKC wins their first NBA title. These are the teams still without an NBA title. Pacers, Clippers, Grizzlies, Hornets, Jazz, Magic, Nets, Pelicans, Suns, Wolves. The Wolves obviously made it to the Western Conference Finals. The Clippers, it's so frustrating because the Clippers are always a team that on paper, you would think the Clippers should win. This year was a year I actually had a lot of faith in the Clippers. Still can't win. They are just a jinxed organization. The Grizzlies have Ja, but they have no defense. The Hornets suck. I mean, listen, Mark, you like Detroit at 16-1. They've got good D. Another year under their belt. They could definitely be an OKC with a little more experience. I'm sure my guy Shawn Michaels going to love that. So Rockets, Western Conference season. Listen, if you think that is this a KD thing? KD signing at Fanatics, by the way, was bizarre. The Rockets, because KD, the guy's not going to stay healthy. Knicks to win the East. The Knicks are like the Clippers. Every year you think, oh, this could be the year. This is the year that maybe the Knicks could win it all. Can the Knicks be like the Pacers next year? Sure, but I'm not. I can't put my money on these teams that just appear freaking jinxed. Speaking of jinxed, is the number 0 jinxed? Every player who wore the number 0 this year tore their Achilles in the playoffs. They also wore pink sneakers, by the way. So no one's talking about the pink sneakers, but everyone's talking about the number 0. Something about pink sneakers, something about the number 0. Maybe we got to fade these guys. I mean, I feel bad. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton, the Achilles, probably out all next year. What was crazy, too, is there was a lot of drama this weekend over FanDuel not paying out their bettors for Tyrese Halliburton. I should have done a poll of what bettors think. I know that when you bet, you're just gambling. You know that you're going to be gambling. You know that there's going to be L's. I like that Fanatics Sportsbook actually does. If a player gets hurt early, I like that Fanatics pays you out for any first quarter injury, any first inning injury. But you can bet the under. I know. Tyrese Halliburton on the road. Under. Never, never refund. The over implies injury risk. No, listen, I agree. That's something Fanatics not only refunds, they promote it big time. Yeah, it's a big thing Fanatics knows that they do. DraftKings did too. FanDuel was the only one that didn't pay out Tyrese Halliburton. People were pissed. It's kind of like the umpire situation. We're getting a little soft here. I know that it is frustrating, but for the last hundreds of years, if there was a bookie out there and you bet an over and a player got hurt, that bookie was happy. Same thing goes now. Like, this is what gambling is. You bet an over, you know there's a chance a player is going to get injured. We're just getting soft. Now, here's the difference with Prize Picks and Underdog. The difference with Prize Picks and Underdog is these are like essentially parlays. So if you hit on the other legs and the injured player like Halliburton loses, that's like it's a system based on parlaying props. So I kind of don't mind Prize Picks and Underdog. I like it for them. It would be unfair if you really were that freaking good in getting 3, 4, 5, 6 legs correct and Halliburton gets hurt. That I understand. But when it's a FanDuel, a DraftKings, a Fanatics, MGM, you're betting an under on a single individual player. Sorry. That's how the rules go. Hard Rock will not refund if a player plays a second of the game. Sorry. That's just the rules. If you play and you have an over and he gets hurt, that's it. And that's what, again, we can't be so soft before I get into being soft. Players in NBA history to win a scoring title and championship in the same season: SGA, Shaq, MJ, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and George Mikan. Crazy. Like, look at this company for SGA with Shaq, MJ, and Kareem. Insane. Are we watching? So everyone, here's the funny thing in the NBA. Everyone was talking about what the Memphis Grizzlies going off and John Morant, he's amazing. And then everyone was also talking about, who was it that everyone, I have something in my eye. Who was it that everybody was talking about in the NBA's? Minnesota. Anthony Edwards. That's what it was. Everyone's talking about Anthony Edwards this postseason, that Anthony Edwards is the next LeBron James. Why are we not talking about SGA? SGA just became, I think, the first player in NBA history to win the MVP of every round of the playoffs, including the NBA Finals, and to win the regular season MVP. Like, yeah, I said it, Anthony Edwards. I said it. So Anthony Edwards is the next face of the NBA, but no one says that about SGA. Why all the hate on SGA? I don't understand that. How are we not talking about SGA being the next big face of the league when he just did what he did? But Anthony Edwards goes off for like 2 rounds of the playoffs and we're calling him the next LeBron? I don't know. I don't understand the hate. OKC is the number 15 pick in Wednesday's draft. We're actually, I'm going to go on Wednesday. I have VSiN and I'm filling in for Adam Shine on Make It Rain. Yeah, that's the show. Make It Rain with Adam Shine, but I'm filling in for Adam, and we're going to bring on an NBA draft expert most likely, so you could tune in there. Because SGA plays for Zombie Sonics. SGA doesn't have a personality. He's from Canada and not America. Conference Finals MVP first came out in about 2022, but you're correct. Sorry, just saying. Regular season MVP? It's crazy. Ant is the face of the NBA. Is 10 kids with 8 women. Well, that's athletes. Sorry. That's athletes for you. So I want to talk about this world being too soft. So the College World Series yesterday, if you follow me on X, which you probably do, you saw that the College World Series, I was pissed. Kevin Schnall, who is the head coach for Coastal Carolina, him and his first base coach get tossed in the first inning of yesterday's game 2, which it's a best of 3. So Coastal was on the brink of elimination after losing game 1, 1-0. Now, obviously, losing 1-0, you're pissed, and you just want things like you are on edge. You just had a huge ass winning streak going into the World Series. The umpire throwing the coach out. And I understand he was arguing balls and strikes. Apparently, he got a warning that he didn't really hear. That's on him. But You can't. You can't. He didn't curse. He didn't push the ump. He had a great quote, by the way. Is it this one? So Schnall says this about the umpire, and if you didn't see the video, look it up on X or YouTube. It's all there. There was, as Schnall is coming out of the dugout, and he's screaming, "You got 3 calls wrong." Ump tosses him. He approaches. Other ump comes running in and falls down like a complete flop. NBA style flop. And Schnall says he shouldn't be responsible for a grown man's lack of athleticism. Because as soon as this man goes down, he's holding up 2. Like, this guy, like, Schnall's suspended 2 games. Which, first of all, that's such an effing horrible move, because he basically is in the first inning saying, I want this head coach suspended for the rest of the World Series. That's what this angry ump said. And here's my favorite quote of all. As an umpire, this is what Schnall said, as an umpire, I feel like it's your job to manage the game, the national championship game, with some poise, some calmness, and a little bit of tolerance. He's right. Umpires are meant to manage the game. I understand that Schnall was angry and he came out and he went over his warnings, but in the NBA Finals, in the NBA playoffs, we were watching refs allow for a little bit more physicality. In the College World Series, you should be allowed to just be a little bit more physical. You should be allowed to be a little more on edge. He didn't curse. He didn't put his hands on anybody. He just was, sure, a little frustrated at the strike zone, like everyone else is. And we all know you can't argue balls and strikes. But the umpire should have said to him, if you come up to me one more time, I will toss you. Schnall says that he apparently got a warning and he barely heard it, which means that the warning was so subtle. Like, you gotta go eye contact. Eye contact, say, I'm giving you the warning. If you come out again, I am going to kick you out. Be careful. But there was nothing bad he said. He could have said way worse things. He could have done way worse things. And Schnall just said he missed 3 calls. The same way, I'm trying to remember, Jessica, you're going to remember, who was it a couple weeks ago in Major League Baseball that said something to the ump like, you're having a pretty bad day, and he got tossed? Same thing. We're getting soft. The umps are getting soft. And here's the thing. I actually don't want robot umps. Nico Horner, thank you, Sean. I really don't want robot umps. Like, I'm such an old school baseball lover. I love old school sports. When it comes to instant replay, I was against it in baseball at first. I'm against robo umps. I just think it's part of the game. But these umpires are making it extremely difficult for me to continue to back them, because the old school umpires, at least, allowed for you to fight them a little bit. The old school umpires, they brought it on. Let's fight. This? Get the hell out. He won't even let the coach say a word. And it's the biggest game of this coach's life, of these players' lives. These players come from Coastal Carolina on the hottest win streak in baseball, and Schnall actually had a great reputation. If you remember back in regionals, he was the one that called out the Florida coach who was pissed off about how the field conditions were and that they had to push a game back. Remember, Schnall was praised for the way he handled that situation because he defended his field crew. He's a good guy. It just makes no sense. This is so stupid. It was the biggest stage of this man's career, of these players' careers, and these players had to play without their first base coach and their coach. Shame. It's an absolute shame that baseball is not managing these umpires in the NCAA, in Major League Baseball. They're on a power trip, and these guys got to get their egos checked. I am pissed. Oh, anyway, it's embarrassing. On a brighter note, before we get to the Prop Queen edges of the day, this is something funny. The Mets reliever, Richard Lovelady, has requested to go by his name Dickie. So his name is Dickie Lovelady from here on out. If anyone wants something to laugh about, you could tune into SNY and watch the Mets game. And you could listen to the Mets announcers be hilarious, because I'm sure there's going to be sarcasm in the way that they announce Richard Lovelady, or sorry, Dickie Lovelady. some baseball entertainment for those that may not be baseball people. If you're not a baseball person, I'm sorry, because you probably are not going to want to watch the rest of this show. We're going to talk about some Prop Queen edges. We've got about 13 minutes left before I have to get the hell out of here and catch the train. My sister's already scaring me because she told me she's going to be at the train station soon. And I haven't packed yet, so this should be fun. I just got to add these graphics in real quick. We've got a lot of who's hot, who's not. We've got strikeout props. We've got batters to watch. Who's not. I've got some rail locks of the day. Almost done. Going through all of these. And if anyone, by the way, if anybody has any questions about any games today, just let me know. There weren't really any fishy lines, but there were some interesting line movements. You guys know I only really do strikeout props, but if there is anybody that you're interested in or any games you're interested in, let me know. These are the batters to watch. So these are the matchups with the batters and the starting pitchers that oh, damn it. I said Baylor Ober. Oh, no. That's a typo. I got to go fix the newsletter. That's bad. See, there's someone that always emails me, and if you're watching the show, hi. Someone always emails me when I have typos. I try my best. JP Crawford, he is hitting 364 with a double against Bailey Ober. Paul Goldschmidt hitting 500 with a double and 2 home runs against Nick Lodolo, who we do not bet. We don't bet Nick Lodolo. The Yankees, they tend to strike out a bit against lefties, but we do not bet Nick Lodolo on this show. We do not mention the name on this show. I know, Sean. I said I have a top on. It's hot out, and I don't have time to change. So we're just going to wear this top. I'll sit back. Or whatever. You guys probably like it. Tyrone Taylor hitting 500 with 2 doubles and a home run against Spencer Schwellenbach. Pete Alonso hitting 364 with a double against Schwellenbach. Travis d'Arnaud hitting 467 with a double and a home run against Buehler. Mike Trout, 2 for 5 with a homer against Buehler. And then Brandon Nimmo does not have a hit in 12 at-bats, 4 strikeouts against Spencer Schwellenbach. So some of these players are really hot right now. We've got a short slate of games. So if you're going to bet on some offensive players, some batters, then you should be looking at the players that are on hot streaks. Josh Smith is on a 10-game hit streak for Texas, 364 batting average with a 6 extra base hits and 12 runs. Ronald Acuna Jr., MVP, baby. I mean, this guy comes off the IL, doesn't start the season on time, and he is raking, hitting 435, 5 homers, and 23 runs scored in his 18-game on-base streak. He's got a great OPS in 27 games since his debut on May 23rd, already matched. Ronald Acuna Jr. has already matched his extra base hits and RBI total from last year in 22 fewer games. It's insane. He's got 13 extra base hits and 15 ribbies. Nuts. Juan Soto's on fire. Finally, Mets fans could be excited about something. In the last 15 games, is hitting 365, 5 homers, 10 ribbies, and 14 runs scored. Matt Olson, he's reached base in 23 straight games, hitting 289 with 12 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 20 ribbies, and 14 runs scored. Judgy, his last 4 games, hitting 385 with a homer and 5 walks, obviously. Jazz Chisholm, Mr. Miracle, by the way, yesterday against the Orioles. And he's hitting 350, 11 ribbies, 17 games since returning from the IL with an oblique injury. Matt McLain for Cincinnati hitting 382 with 2 homers and 8 runs scored in his 10-game hitting streak. Ellie De La Cruz hitting 316 with 9 homers, 27 runs scored in his last 26 games. And remember, Ellie De La Cruz grew up as a Yankees fan. His favorite player was Derek Jeter. They're playing the Yankees for the next 3 days. Some more players on fire, obviously Cal Raleigh. I mean, he's just crushing it. One of the best catchers right now. But Cal Raleigh hitting 10 for 20 with 5 homers, 12 ribbies, 10 runs scored in his last 5 games. His 31 home runs are 4 more than any other player. Cal Raleigh's been an absolute machine. Wait, what are you saying about... What did someone say about the WNBA? Oh, brutal back-to-back for the Fever tonight. Is there WNBA tonight? I thought it was tomorrow. Tomorrow I see the Fever play the Storm at 10 p.m. So I'm just letting you know. I think that's tomorrow for WNBA. I'm going to try to get Coach on the show tomorrow. I have to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow because my brother's graduation's in the morning. Then I got to figure out the day and we have dinner. Yeah, thank you. WNBA never plays on Mondays. That's why I was confused. It's tomorrow. So no fever tonight. It's tomorrow. Byron Buxton has 6 home runs in his last 23 at-bats, including 2 on Sunday. He's hitting .338 with 7 homers and 20 ribbies in 19 games off the concussion IL. Randy Arozarena hitting .412 with 5 doubles, 5 runs scored in his last 4 games. Donovan Solano has 10 hits in his last 17 at-bats, including a 2-homer game Sunday. Eugenio Suarez, guys. Damn. For Arizona, he's been on an absolute tear. He has an extra base hit in 4 straight games, 10 for 18, 2 doubles, 4 homers, 9 ribbies in that stretch. He leads Major League Baseball, Suarez, with 10 home runs this month. Suarez also leads all of MLB with 67 ribbies. Josh Naylor, 11-game hit streak, hitting .409 with 10 ribbies and 11 runs scored during the streak. Miguel Vargas, he's actually a very underrated name right now. Since April 23rd, he's batting .284, 27 extra base hits, 28 ribbies, 32 runs in 53 games. Only 9 players in baseball have more extra base hits in that span than Miguel Vargas. Christian Yelich has an RBI in each game of Milwaukee's 4-game win streak. He's hitting .394, 28 ribbies over his last 25 games. Joey Ortiz also hot. 4 consecutive multi-hit games, going 9 for 18 with 4 runs scored. McCutcheon's hit safely in 12 of his last 14 games, batting .316. Pete Crow Armstrong has 9 homers and 22 ribbies in 18 games against the NL Central this season. Kyle Tucker homered in each of his past 2 days. He's hitting .417, 5 extra base hits, 6 runs scored in his last 7 games. Nolan Arenado, remember, didn't want to be traded, hitting .333 with 4 homers and 10 ribbies in his last 16 games. Boston's Ceddanne Rafaela homered in all 3 games against the Angels in Boston. He's batting .325, 6 homers. He's got a good OPS in his last 23 games. Nolan's hitting .314, 3 homers, and 9 ribbies in his last 8. Luis Garcia Jr. batting .341, 8 ribbies in his last 11-game hit streak. He's batting .330 over his last 30 games, dating back to May 17th. Some players who are just not it right now. Corey Seager hitting .147 with a homer in 21 games since coming off the IL. Gunnar Henderson, he has not homered more than once in his last 32 games. J-Rod also has not homered since May 27th. It's matching a career worst, 101 homerless at-bats. K-props. K-props to watch. We've got 6 that were in the newsletter this morning. Some of these might have moved. I didn't check, but this is what the numbers were this morning when I gave it out on the premium newsletter. Texas lefty, Patrick Corbin. I know we usually fade him, but this is the good spot. He's actually getting the Orioles. Corbin's got over 4.5 Ks in 4 of 5 games against lineups averaging 5.8 Ks or more against lefties. Lefties are averaging 6.6 strikeouts per game against the Orioles. 15 of the 21 Southpaws to start against the O's went over their strikeout prop. 7 of the last 10 lefty starters to face Baltimore also went over 4.5 Ks. On the other side of that game, you've got Orioles lefty Trevor Rogers. At plus 120, you can get decent value because it's over 4.5 Ks. It's a small sample size. He's had 2 starts. Rogers faced a low K rate team in Tampa. Then he faced a high K rate team in Boston where he punched out 5 and 6 1/3. The Rangers, they have really drastic splits dating back to last year. Left-handed starters are averaging a full strikeout more per start against Texas. And that's why you're seeing lefties, 14 of the 18 lefties. So 14 overs and 4 unders. 14 of the 18 lefties went over their K-prop against the Rangers this year, averaging just under 6 strikeouts to start. 8 of the last 10 also went over 4.5 strikeouts against Texas. Seattle's righty Brian Wu, under 5.5 Ks. Woo! He's gone under 5.5 Ks in all 4 starts against low K rate teams. Twins, they've been one of the most profitable teams to bet unders against for K props. 40 unders, 19 overs when facing Minnesota, averaging just over 4 strikeouts to start. 8 of the last 10 have gone under 5.5 Ks against the Twins. Wu's on the road. He had 3 strikeouts in 6 2/3 in the last start that he had against Minnesota. It scares me a little that he faced them already, but he's gone under in all 4 starts against low K rate teams. No. K props, more. Bailey over under. We love that. Kaylee over under. Bailey over. Bailey over under. Ober went under 4.5 Ks in all 5 starts against low K rate lineups this year. Again, this is a rematch, so he saw Seattle already this year. He had 4 strikeouts in 4 1/3. Righties, 21 overs, 30 unders, averaging just over 4 strikeouts a game against Seattle, with 8 of the last 10 going under 4.5 Ks against the Mariners. Jack Kuchanowicz, I always mess that up. Over 4.5 Ks, good value here at plus 108. He's faced 3 high K rate lineups, went over 4.5 in all 3. He had 6 against the Athletics, 5 against the Yankees, and 8 again against the Yankees. The Angels, they definitely, I keep messing up these. I'm really typoing today. This is bad. Angels up against Boston. Red Sox. I'm just, as I'm reading this all and going through the newsletter of what I wrote out, I'm realizing all my typos. So this is what I get for thinking I proofread, and then I don't. Red Sox had Angels. Okay. So anyway, Boston averages about 5.5 strikeouts a game. 8 of the last 10 have gone over 4.5 Ks. So for the Angels starter today, 4.5 seems a little low against the Red Sox. Lastly, Washington's lefty Mitchell Parker under 3.5 Ks, plus 120. Great value here. Parker's made 15 starts this season, but just 2 were against the team that strike out as little as the Padres, and that was both starts against Arizona, where Parker had 2 strikeouts in both those starts. Lefties, 14 unders, 8 overs when facing the Padres, averaging just over about 4 strikeouts a game. But 4 of the last 6 lefties went under this number of 3.5 against San Diego. And just for you guys to know, Jessica Brand and I, we never give out the same props. And if we do give out a prop, we've actually been on opposite sides. I think it's the second time all season, the second time since the newsletter that Jessica Brand and I have given out Mitchell, the same prop, and it was Mitchell Parker. Time for the Royal Locks best bets of the day. Let's get to Royal Locks. Obviously back to strikeouts. I'm going with Patrick Corbin, baby. Patrick Corbin to go over 4.5 Ks. He's gone over this in 4 or 5 games and facing teams that average 5.8 strikeouts a start or more against lefties. That's the O's. They average 6.6 strikeouts per start, with 15 of the 21 Southpaws to start against Baltimore going over their K prop. 7 of the last 10 lefties to face Baltimore went over 4.5 Ks. Then Mitchell Parker for Washington, the lefty, take his under 3.5 Ks. I just love this at plus 120. He's made 15 starts this year, but just 2 against low K rate teams. Arizona had 2 strikeouts against them in both starts. Lefties, 14 unders, 8 overs, averaging about 4 strikeouts a game when facing the Padres. 4 of the last 6 lefties to face San Diego and under 3.5 Ks. That is a low number for 4 of the last 6 to be going under. Plus money, great value. Parker under 3.5 Ks tonight. That was a very quick, condensed version of the Prop Queen Pod. If you missed anything, you could tune into the YouTube page at Prop Queen Sports. You've got it all on here. Make sure to go check out Pikkit. You can download it using promo code Prop Queen. It's free. Make sure to sign up. Load up your sports books on there. It tracks everything. And honestly, I get all the lines through Pikkit. So all these from this morning were the best number that you could get. Jessica says now Corbin is at minus 114 to the over. So interesting. But anyway, thanks, guys. Hope you guys have a great night. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow about what the show is going to look like. It might be condensed again because I've got to get to dinner, but I will let you all know. And I'm going to try to get Coach on so we can talk some WNBA. It's a big slate tomorrow. There you go. Minus 125 Parker now for best under 3.5. That's crazy. Good luck with your bets. I will see you guys tomorrow. Got to go catch a train. Bye.